guys, Nina Dobrev is finally speaking out about how she was paid way less than Ian and Paul on the Vampire Diaries, which is wild to hear considering she was literally playing multiple characters. Like when she was Catherine, she had double the lines, double the screen time, and still didn't get fair pay. She was the storyline, you guys. The least they could have done was pay her equally, and people feel as though the show even went downhill after she left as well. So let's get into everything Nina exposed this week. Nina was only 20 when the Vampire Diaries premiered in 2009, and while she's best known for playing Elena Gilbert, she also took on several of Elena's doppelgangers throughout the series. Even though the extra roles meant longer hours and a heavier workload, Nina revealed she was still paid less than her male co-stars, Ian Somerhalder and Paul Wesley, who played Damon and Stefan Salvatore. Speaking out in Entertainment Weekly editor Samantha Hickfield's new book titled I Was Feeling Epic, An Oral History of the Vampire Diaries, Nina noted that she, Candace King, who played Caroline, and Kat Graham, who played Bonnie, were the 3 lowest paid series regulars in the first 2 seasons. Now, Nina did a piece with Variety this week, and they wrote, despite being the lead of the Vampire Diaries, Nina Dobrev never made as much money as her co-stars Ian and Paul. In I Was Feeling Epic, An Oral History of the Vampire Diaries, Samantha Hickfield's book released on Tuesday, Nina fought for seasons for equal pay. Candace, Kat, and I were the 3 lowest paid series regulars in the first 2 seasons. Dobrev, who was also portraying Catherine Pierce in addition to Elena Gilbert, says it was a bit of a tricky situation because my contract only said to play Elena, but I was playing multiple characters, which doubled my workload. I had to be on set for double the amount of time. I had to memorize double the amount of lines. I wanted to play Catherine, but I wanted to be compensated fairly for that, and I wanted to be an equal to the boys. In season 3, when cast negotiations began, she got a raise, but it was never equal to what her male co-leads were making. The studio agreed to pay her when she portrayed Catherine, and then allegedly told creators Julie Plec and Kevin Williamson to no longer use Catherine. And I quote, they just said out of principle they wouldn't bump me up to being equal to the boys, and so that was probably the most hurtful because it felt like I was really working hard and we shot 18-hour days sometimes and nights, and I was putting my absolute heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears into it. I remember feeling like the studio didn't appreciate what I was bringing to the show, and it felt like they were saying that all the hard work I was putting into it didn't matter to them and that I wasn't an equal to my male counterparts, and so that was upsetting to me.
Finding out Nina was getting paid less than Ian and Paul on the Vampire Diaries just pissed me the fuck off. This girl was playing like 6 characters on the show, and you're telling me they wouldn't pay her the same amount as the men, and she was the main character. She is the main character. I don't care if Damon and Stefan were more popular. Elena was the character. So it's not making any sense to me, that it's not computing to me that they would not pay her the same or even more. She deserved to get paid more because first of all, she was acting circles around the whole cast, playing 2 different characters at the same time. And they wouldn't even pay her more when she was playing like multiple characters. Because that means she has to work more, she has to stay late, she has to memorize more lines. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And then she wanted to come back for the last season for more episodes, but she asked to be paid the same thing the men were getting paid, and they said no. So they would only pay her the same for 1 episode. Y'all, honestly, I started watching the show after, like, a few episodes before she left, and then I never watched it again after she left because I was like, what's the fucking point? But that's so crazy to me. Elena was the whole show. What? This is like, it blew my mind. This has blown my mind. Like, I know I work in the film industry, so I know how this shit goes. I know about, you know, the pay parity stuff. Like, I've seen some crazy shit, but this one has really blown my mind, y'all. Like, I don't understand this one. I don't get it. Like, wow, you pay the main female character less than the men when the whole show is centered around her? Insanity.
Eventually, Plec says the studio was granted a certain number of episodes with Catherine and had to eventually kill the character off. Dobrev left at the end of season 6, but was open to returning for the 8th and final season. Despite the creators wanting her back for multiple episodes, another pay disparity prevented that from happening. And I quote, I was always open to coming back for the finale, and storyline-wise, it made sense. I felt like it was important and it needed to happen for the show. It needed to happen for the fans, Dobrev says. It was just just really important to me that at the end of the show, as a woman, I wanted to make sure that I was compensated and that I was an equal to my male counterparts on the show. And so it came down to that. Since Wesley and Summerhalder had gotten multiple raises since her exit, the network wouldn't budge. Initially, Dobrev claims the opening offer for the finale was 5 times less than what I made when I left in season 6. She continues, and quote, "That's the only reason why at one point I almost didn't come back. I needed to be paid party to the boys. I had to put my foot down and say if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be able to come back. And it wasn't about the money. I didn't give a shit about the money at all. It was the principle. It was my second time trying to make this point. It wasn't about the actual dollar amount. It was about being an equal. They really didn't want to give it to me, and I politely declined the offer. And honestly, good for her for standing her ground and knowing her worth." That's when Julie stepped in and put her foot down and spoke to everyone. After Plex stepped in and worked on the deal for weeks, the CW and studio allegedly agreed to the pay, but only for 1 episode. You guys, it's the level of greediness for me. Like, she is the main character here. People love Nina. I'm pretty sure most people are here for the show for Nina. And I quote, "The reason we couldn't have her for more than 1 episode is because they just wouldn't pay," Plex says in the book. "It took a lot of work before they finally relented, but it came back that it was 1 episode only that they'd say yes for."
I guess Nina Dobrev did an interview with Variety magazine, because I just seen Variety magazine tweeted a quote from that interview where Nina allegedly said that she didn't get paid as much as her male co-stars in The Vampire Diaries, which pisses me off because if you didn't know, Nina Dobrev played 4 different characters in The Vampire Diaries, 2 of which, one, main character, Elena Gilbert, okay, the protagonist, the antagonist, who is a very, very, very important, crucial recurring character, Catherine Pierce. Let me tell you. And then Amara and Tatia. I'm not going to go into detail. However, I will say that she played them all so masterfully that you have your own opinions on each of them, and you can tell the difference, besides, like, hair and the clothes, okay? There are scenes where Catherine dresses up as Elena and pretends to be Elena because they're doppelgangers, right? But you can still tell that it's Catherine pretending to be Elena. My friend and I talk about this all the time because Nina Dobrev is criminally underrated. For The Vampire Diaries alone, too. Like, I love Catherine, and I'm not the biggest Elena Gilbert fan. Don't really care. Catherine, though, I can't even explain it. She should have been the highest paid, in my opinion, because she was doing a lot of work. A lot of work. And they had scenes, like, Catherine and Elena had scenes together. Quite a lot. So, not only did she have to, like, change and, like, get into character for each character, but she nailed it.
So y'all, at the end of the day, Nina's story is a reminder that even when you're the face of a hit series, equal pay unfortunately isn't guaranteed, especially not in Hollywood. It really makes you wonder how many other stars have quietly gone through the same thing in the industry, but that's Nina speaking out and exposing Vampire Diaries and everything she had to say in this Variety interview. I want to know what you guys think about the disparity in pay. Let me know your thoughts on everything in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next one.